Hey, our Savior family, small groups, individuals who might be watching this. We've come to our final week of our spiritual growth campaign, week 5. And I pray that throughout this spiritual growth campaign, you've had opportunities to really dive into these spiritual practices of radical hospitality, passionate worship, intentional faith development, risk-taking mission and service. In our final week, we get to talk about something that we often talk about, but generosity. But what we're going to look at this week is extravagant generosity. And what does that look like? What does that even mean? And when we think of how God gives, how can we add that to our giving? I had a few helpers help me create this video, so let's take a look at a few extravagant, maybe over-the-top ways of being generous. Let's take a look.
Hello, Pastor Chris. I was wondering, do you have a snack at all?
Well, I sure do.
Thank you.
One.
Hey, can somebody pass me a water?
Here, Matt, take mine.
You need one? We got coffee.
It's down here.
Sorry, I found mine. It's right here.
Thanks. All right.
Man, is it cold in here?
Ooh. Hey, Dave, did I hear you say you were cold in here? Hey, here, I got a jacket for you. Here, let's get that jacket on you. We got a scarf for you. Here, here's some one-of-a-kind John the Baptist.
It's almost like you were waiting for me.
Yeah, I kind of was. You looked cold, and I just figured,
How generous of you.
now you're warm.
I feel much better.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Thanks, Pastor.
Absolutely. Okay, so those were a few silly ways to see people being generous or over-the-top generous. But when we think of extravagant generosity, when we think of how we as Christians ought to give, we give in ways that the world doesn't understand. Maybe it's not throwing a whole box of goldfish on someone or giving them everything you possibly have to keep them warm. But we give in ways that make the world look at us and go, why are you giving that? Why are you doing that? And our answer is because we have a God who gives more than we could ask or imagine. We have a God who gives in ways that don't make sense. We have a God who sent his one and only Son to die on the cross for us. When God gives, he gives extravagantly. And now we, as followers of Christ, we get to do the same thing. I pray that this week your conversations with your small group would be enriching to you. And I pray that we would be able to have those conversations of how can we give like God? How can we be extravagant in our generosity? God's blessings on your conversations and your week.